What's up?
How's it going?
You hear my throttle bearing?
What you clutching? Yours isn't nearly as bad as mine.
Yeah. It just means it's working.
Mine gets louder as the car warms up though, like as I use it.
You wanna go here 5th gear real quick?
Yeah. You already know. Alright boys, well welcome to today's video. I guess we're starting off with going for a ride in Derek's car because I was complaining to Derek that my 5th gear was really noisy and my throwout bearing is really noisy, and he was like, dude, my car sounds the same, I promise, you know. And sure enough, it literally sounds just like mine. So I guess I can't, you know.
In
3rd gear. Yeah, his 3rd sounds like my 5th. Just like mine, so oh my god. All right guys, well I guess I'm happy to hear that Derek's car makes the same noises as mine, because I was like really hesitant about my 5th gear being super loud and the throwout bearing, and I actually didn't use an OEM throwout bearing. I ended up, like, I say cheaping out, but it was like, I think it was like 30 something bucks for the non-OEM throwout bearing, and it was only like 50 for the OEM, and I should have done it, but whatever. Derek says his is OEM and it still makes noise, so whatever, I'm over it. But anyway, let's talk about the title of this video, guys. So, yes, guys, I am freaking going on Drift Week. So if you guys know what Drift Week is, well, first of all, I should say, if you don't know what Drift Week is, I don't want to just explain it. I'd rather you guys like see it so you know exactly what it is. So check out Lone Star Drift's channel. I'm going to put their tag right here. You guys probably know Lone Star Drift, but they host something called Drift Week that they started doing pretty much last year, and they've done 2 of them so far, and this is going to be the 3rd one. So essentially, Drift Week is like drag week, where you take your drift car and you drive it thousands of street miles between multiple different tracks, and you do this for 2 weeks straight, and you drift at every single track, and then you pack up your stuff and you drive to the next track for the next event. So Drift Week 3 is going to basically be in Oregon and Washington this year, and what they're doing is I want to say it's going to be, it's still a little bit up in the air, but it's like 5 different tracks, 8 different track days over the course of 2 weeks. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of driving. But if you guys know what Drift Week is, you guys can probably imagine my excitement. This is like huge news. So I'm super excited. But as you guys could tell looking at the car, like, it needs a lot of work. So first, I'm going to kind of give you guys a breakdown of like the timeline of everything, because the next few weeks are probably going to be the busiest and craziest few weeks while we get ready. So it's middle of March right now, and Drift Week starts middle of April. So I have less than 4 weeks to get this car ready to street drive thousands of miles and hit 8 different track days, while hopefully staying together. And like, obviously you guys know I literally just finished doing this JZ swap. I've only driven the car 1 event, so it's quite the task to ask of a brand new, freshly built like swap. So I do have a lot of little things that I need to address on the car. Let's talk about some of the big things. Number 1, this thing is so ugly right now, and you guys haven't seen it since the last event, but I went through and I pulled the kit off. I started sanding the car down because it definitely needs a fresh paint job. So over fenders are off, and I need to start sanding the rest of the car. I kind of got halfway on some of the panels, but just like haven't quite had the time to finish yet. Aesthetically, the car needs all the paint prep done and then the paint work done. As you guys know, Derek's going to be painting the car for me, and Derek actually just got a new job at a new paint shop, and he has access to the paint booth. So this thing's going to actually get a legit paint job inside of a professional grade paint booth. So I'm super pumped about that. Not that like the car is like a show car quality, but it'll be cool to have it painted in a booth. So aside from aesthetics that the car desperately needs, there's also a couple of like performance stuff that I want to do to the car. Number 1 is adding an oil cooler. So I got some of the parts to do that already. So we're gonna end up adding an oil cooler for it, which means we have to remove the factory oil cooler assembly. So I'll show you guys all that in another video, not today. Pretty much aside from that, like you guys already kind of know the setup I have with the fans and making them fit, and like, you know, all this jank work that I had to do on the tube front. I'd love to be able to redo this before Drift Week, and that's the plan, is to cut this radiator support off right here and move the whole thing forward a little bit and give myself a little bit more room for my fans. And ideally, I wanted to run some bigger fans to make sure the car stays cool. But again, I've only drifted that one event, and if you guys caught the last video of the event, the car stayed cool the entire time. But I wasn't running a hood and I wasn't running a front bumper, so there was just like massive amounts of airflow for the car. So I don't know if that's why it stayed so cool, or if it's just, you know, my good radiator, the Koyo Enflow dual pass radiator, plus just like the electric fans that I have. You know, it could be that it's just staying cool, or it could have just been, you know, the no hood, no bumpers. So here's how we're gonna test that. On top of how much stuff I have to do before Drift Week, which is in 4 weeks, I am going drifting this weekend in Oregon. So the guys from Eliminate rented out the track up in Oregon, and you guys have seen that track that I've driven a bunch. So they actually rented it out with some of their friends, and they invited me to come along. So the car needs to get ready I have 1.5 days to get the car ready for Oregon. Now, there's just too much of a task to try to get this thing pretty before Oregon. I hate to say it, but I literally might run it just like this, like absolute missile car, no over fenders, no kit, just like this. And the reason is I just don't really have a lot of time to make it pretty, and I would rather just drive it this weekend and like kind of dial in the engine a little bit more, make sure everything's good there, and then, you know, worry about aesthetics later. First things first though, for this weekend's drift event, I need hood pins. I don't have any hood pins. The hood has no way of closing right now. The hood pins used to go here, but look, since I moved this bar forward, now when you look through this hole, you probably can't see it, but the radiator is right there. You can see the corner of it. So I got to figure out a way to make some hood pins that, you know, are still going to utilize these existing holes. But anyway, I've been talking nonstop. So I just want to say one more time, I'm freaking going to Drift Week. I'm so excited. Like, Drift Week is one of those things where when I saw it start, I saw the first Drift Week happen, and, you know, all like these big YouTubers and drivers and like professional drivers and all these people that I know that I look up to, like, they're driving it, right? And then they do a second one, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then they do a third one, and they're like, hey, we're coming to your own backyard, Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington. That's the closest possible like options of Drift Week that it could have been for me, because we're in California, so it's only 5 hours up to Oregon for us. So like, I really wanted to do this Drift Week because it's this close to us, and like, Drift Week is really demanding on your car, and so if anything catastrophic happened, I wanted to be close to home. I didn't want to be all the way across country trying to figure out how to get my car home and whatnot. So anyway, this Drift Week's gonna be freaking awesome. And if you guys didn't know, this guy is also driving, and we're pretty pumped. So my car is gonna get all pretty. You guys just saw his car. It's gonna get all pretty. It's gonna be looking like Derek's. Not as clean because he put a lot of time into his, but it'll be a lot cleaner than it is right now. So we're hella excited for Drift Week. It's gonna be an insane, like, it's just so demanding on the cars. You know, it's gonna be a really good test to see like how well did we build two JZ cars? Like, are they streetable? Are they gonna be able to make it between tracks for 2 weeks straight and drift every day? I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one.
And our cars are like very similar, because when Derek did his JZ swap and then I decided to do mine, I pretty much followed his footsteps with like everything. Same trans, same clutch setup, same adapter kit setup. Like, almost everything's identical for our swaps. So the good thing about that is we can share a lot of parts. So as far as spare parts go, we're gonna bring a lot of stuff that we can both use. So that's gonna be pretty nice. And we kind of like, we'll be able to help each other out with stuff on the cars, because they're very similar. So anyway, that's super exciting. Aside from that, I'll probably make another video talking about Drift Week a little bit more, but there's a few other people, like hometown friends, that are doing it as well. So I'll like maybe make a video, and I would love to get all of our cars together before Drift Week and like make a cool video or something. So hopefully if everyone gets their stuff done in time. Like I said, we have less than 4 weeks, and I just found out that I got accepted like 2 weeks ago.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you ready?
It's coming up quick.
Super quick.
I'm pumped. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're excited, man. So again, if you guys know what Drift Week is, then you guys know how freaking crazy of an experience this is going to be, and like how cool it is that both of us get to go on something like Drift Week. If you don't know what Drift Week is, go to Lone Star Drift, watch a couple of their Drift Week 2 videos or Drift Week 1 videos. It's unlike anything you've ever seen when it comes to drifting and like what we're asking of these drift cars. So it's going to be pretty awesome. What do you got to say?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It's one of those things, like, you're almost at a loss for words, because like, you know, we kind of like saw Drift Week happening, and it was all these like big drivers and FD drivers and like pro drivers and YouTubers who are huge, like not like me, just huge channels. And then for us to be like, dude, we built our cars in our garage and we're about to go do Drift Week. Like it's pretty freaking awesome. But anyway,
It's definitely going to be a test to these chassis, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is for sure. So more details on all the Drift Week stuff in another video. I just wanted to make the announcement, let everybody know that that's what's going on. I know I've been talking forever now, but in this video though, what I'm gonna do is pull the car into the shop right now. I gotta figure out the hood pins, because like I said, literally by the time you guys see this video, like the next day, I think I'm driving up to Oregon for the drift event with Eliminate. So I got a lot to do. Get this hood mounted up, try to make the car maybe just slightly prettier than it is, and then mounting tires and like getting everything ready for the weekend. So anyway, let's get to it. Hey, you know what I love about this thing? It fires up first try every time. All right, guys, so I have a few options for hood pins. So I have these arrow catch ones that, you know, you guys have seen these. They're pretty cool. But the only problem with these is I haven't cut the holes for these yet. You have to cut, obviously, like a pretty big hole. And I wasn't committed to like which direction I wanted them, and I have to remake the radiator support still, so I don't know exactly where these will work. So I'm going to save these for before Drift Week. But for this weekend, just to be able to run a hood, what I want to do is basically just kind of ghetto rig up some mounts. Here, Derek, you want to pull the hood up a little bit? So the reason I can't really use it the way it is because the radiator, because this is moved forward, the radiator is right where those holes are on the hood. So basically, like, what I want to do is make a tab like this that comes up like this, and then what we can do is put a hood pin on the end of this bracket so it kind of hovers over the radiator like that. Because right here doesn't line up anymore. So the only problem is these hood pins are aluminum, and we have to weld them to the bracket, which is not aluminum. So we're gonna run up to AutoZone and get some just like AutoZone style hood pins that they have that should be steel. Then we can weld those to that tab, make 2 of those tabs, and then just kind of make some makeshift hood pins just for this weekend until I can make the legit ones once we do the radiator support next week. So let's go to AutoZone. I went to AutoZone and I picked up these right here. So these are just like super basic hood pins, but they're metal, they're steel. So I can weld these onto our little makeshift tab, and then, yeah, and that should work for now. Like I said, I don't want to leave it like that. I want to do these like nice arrow catch style ones, but it's just more work to cut all that out and get these to fit in nicely and all that. And like, I don't have time. I don't have time right now. So let's get the hood pins going. I'm gonna make 2 of the brackets. I'm gonna just kind of bend these up and make that work. All right, well, they're not pretty, but it's gonna work. So got this one right here made up and pretty much just measured it out and where I'm going to put the hood pin. So I'm just going to clean up the metal here. I'll weld this straight on, and then we'll weld, well, I guess I should maybe weld the hood pin to this first, since I can do that on the bench, and then we'll weld the whole thing onto here, yeah. And then here's the other side. Boom, it'll just sit like that. Check it out, boys. Bam, hood pin. Bam, hood pin. So again, temporary. I really do want to do the arrow catch style, but good enough for this weekend just so I can at least run the hood. But as you guys can see, it's dark out. I ended up having to leave in the middle of the project and come back and whatnot, so things took a little while. But that's pretty much all I'm going to do for tonight. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. It wasn't really supposed to be a video about prepping the car for the drift event. I really just wanted to tell everybody about Drift Week and, hang on. But anyway, guys, again, this video was mostly just to tell everybody about Drift Week and pretty much that the next month is going to be insane. So if you guys are excited about Drift Week or that I'm going to be on Drift Week, make sure you guys leave a comment. Let me know. Leave a thumbs up and all that good stuff. And if you guys have not subscribed yet, obviously this is a great time to subscribe because, again, the next month is going to be pretty crazy of getting this thing ready for Drift Week. But after that, expect some sick Drift Week content with all the different crazy people that are going to be going, and it's going to be awesome. So again, if you guys have not checked out Drift Week 1 and 2, make sure you go to Lone Star Drift's channel. And again, I'll link his channel in the comments or in the description or whatever. But check out Drift Week. It is freaking awesome, and I feel so like blessed to be able to be a part of it. Now, it's not cheap. It's not like I got invited and they're like, oh yeah, Behrad, come fucking be on Drift Week and we'll let you all do it all for free. No, it costs a ton of money. Like the amount of money that I spent to 1J swap this thing, I'm pretty much probably going to spend just to do Drift Week for 2 weeks. But it's going to be worth it. So I hope to see you guys here for all those videos. It's going to be awesome. For now, I'm going to be done for tonight. I got a few more little things to button up to get this thing ready for this weekend. And remember, I'm going drifting in Oregon with Randy and the Eliminate Gang and Matt Franco, Black Flag from SoCal. So, yeah, expect some fun videos from there. I know Randy's excited to drive his Skyline R32, and I think I'm going to try to drive his Skyline R32, so we'll see how it goes. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, leave a comment, leave a like. Let me know you're pumped about Drift Week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.